everyone. So a while back, I was asked how I break the spine of my Amazon Create Space books, because often I will either take the pages out and just color them that way and not have to sit here and fight with a spine, or I use that for easier scanning, because if you try to scan them when they're like this, you always get a curve in your scan. So I tend to do this the most with Hannah Lynn pages. As you can see, I actually do color on her paper for the most part, but I've been meaning to break this one up, so I thought this was the perfect opportunity. So I use the method of using my Sizzix heat tool. I'll leave a link in the description below. Any brand of heat tool will be fine. Now you have to be very careful with this method because you can, one, burn your book. You can like leave little scorch marks. Two, your book could actually catch fire. I have not done that, but I have heard of people who have done it. If it's smoking, y'all, turn it off. But it's quite simple. Another method is you can actually take these to like a local copy store, and they have a tool that'll cut the binding and literally just whoosh, and cuts this part off. So you can do that as well, but I don't want to leave the house unless I have to. So I, didn't want to take a whole stack of books and be like, hi, can I pay you to chop this binding off? I've seen other people do it a few different ways, but this is just how I do it. So first thing I start with is it's better to do this in a book you have not colored in. This is Prismacolor, so this is going to get a little warm. But what I like to do is I like to open the book in the center and keep flattening. See how the spine is starting to show and the glue? Okay. It's a good arm workout. Oh, sorry, my purple hair is all up in there. I don't have a hair tie on. Speaking of which, this page is actually really cute. Okay, I start with a lower heat setting first. And I just start heating it up. What we're doing here is we are heating the glue so it starts to loosen. This is a very long, boring process. Okay, now I flip it over. And I hit that from this side because, again, I'm just heating up the glue here in the center. Now you can bump this up to the higher, ooh, that's getting warm. You can bump it up to the higher temperature setting, but that's often how you scorch a book. So just keep going. I'm doing this in real time, just so you can see how long this takes. And then I always like to do a little test. Okay, so see how it's starting to peel away? Super easy because the glue is getting hot. So you just sit here and pull back, and it's warm. So do not, once this glue starts to get fully heated up, because now the spine is broken. See how we have exposed this whole section of glued pages here? What I like to do is I just like to take my knife, and in this case my scissors, because I couldn't find my craft knife. I like to just run it along where it's already naturally coming off the cover. Okay, so now I got a nice little chunk here already off the cover, but we're not done. Okay, so same on this side. Look for that opening where it's already splitting naturally. If you don't have one, you need to heat more. Okay, so see here how it's starting to split naturally. Just slide. No, we need to heat that one more. Okay, so we're going to keep going on the low setting. I'm going to try and hit it on this side, just where it seems to be sticking. My goal right now is just to heat the glue enough so it softens and lets go. Now be very careful because this gets very hot, and so you can see the glue starting to get all tacky. See how some's sticking to my finger right there? It's like hot glue at this point. So I've got this section that wants to pop off, so I will just run my scissors. And often, see, because it's so warm right now, it's going to peel right off. But you want to be, don't force it. Now, the cover right here is always going to tear a little. That's just the name of the game. And you have to kind of work fast. You need to work while the glue is still soft. So, because it dries up really quick. Okay, so I just need to get these 2 pages off. And these 2 at the front are always the peskiest. So, we're just going to heat them again until the glue is really soft. And these will just like fall right out. So I'm pulling with one hand here and holding the heat tool, and see how it's just pulling away. See all that glue just letting go? That is exactly what you want to do. There we go. And there we go. See, look at that glue. This is what I'm talking about. It's handy to have scissors nearby for this part. Ta-da! Once that dries, it will no longer be sticky. But right now, it is very, very sticky. Okay, so we have officially preserved our cover, see? So I can slide the pages all back in here and have a way to bind them. And I usually clip them or rubber band them or let them roam free. Now, the book came apart in a few sections. What you have to be very careful of is right now the glue is very tacky because it's warm. So when you're putting these off to the side, oh, I just grabbed my hair with glue. When you're putting these off to the side, be very careful and mindful of where your glue is. So, all you do to break the rest apart is you need to heat this glue here, but sometimes you don't have to at all, depending on how well it split the first time. So I always like to test first and see if the page will come off, but see, this is as far as it'll go. So I'm gonna have to take off more glue. Now, some people at this point will just use like a paper cutter and cut them off. You can do that too. I just like to do the slow method and peel them apart, kind of. So just heat that glue. Make sure you're working on a surface that can withstand heat. So, like, if you have a Tim Holtz mat, you can take that out. But see how it just, like, peeled right apart? All that glue there. Makes it so fun. And then, these pages, because the glue is hot, sometimes it dries so quick. Let's try these pages. And just keep breaking them up in sections, like looking for openings. See natural openings like this to pull apart, because the glue has already started to break itself apart in those spots. And I can do this super fast, but while I'm demonstrating it, it's a little slower, because normally I'll be sitting here with the heat gun constantly, just having the gun running. See, now it's just all the pages are coming out. So yeah, once you start to break one, it's kind of like Jenga. You just hit that sweet spot and the whole tower goes down. Well, all the pages start falling apart. And then you just keep peeling from the center, like so. So, see, got that one. And then I want to peel this one apart. So I would just, again, from the center. And if you start hearing anything giving you resistance, just take your tool and heat it up. Now when you're coming closer to your hands, like seriously, be careful. This tool gets hot. And I am still only on the lowest setting. I have burned myself with glue and the gun more times than I want to admit to. This one's really not gonna cooperate, is it? All right, this one's gonna need a little more love. But yeah, so basically what you just keep doing is, I recommend breaking apart the chunks first. So just looking, pulling several pages apart and seeing if they'll naturally break apart like these ones, because this is saving you tons of time. And just keep breaking those. Let's see if there's any in here. It's usually like the midway point. See, and they just come right apart. Come right apart. And then same thing here, I have this whole chunk. See, like this one's already popping right off. There's one. And then I usually just go, like I said, go for the center. See if it'll break apart. This is a bigger chunk though, so it may not. Oh, there we go. You just have to look for where, oh, I got glue on my nails, where it's naturally already separating. And this one I have to be careful with because I do not want to get my Prismacolor hot. Melty, melty. So let me get one that doesn't have Prisma. All right, so this whole chunk here is not coming apart as easily. So we're gonna heat the whole spine here. Okay, don't touch the glue. Just strategically look for those spots where it'll break apart. Oh, see, there we go. Got one breaking. Okay, and this one, the glue is holding on tight. That's why I'm doing this in real time, so you can kind of see some of the common issues you'll get. And then if you don't want to keep doing this method and, you know, peeling each one, and you will always have this itty bitty glue line, but that's because this was glued. The way to get around that, I will show you. This is what I like to call the finger loser, because you are so going to lose your fingers if you're not paying attention. So I have this set of 2 pages that doesn't want to come apart. Now I could keep heating them, or I can just line it up, make sure it's even, slice off the glue. Nope, we still got some glue. It's a little guessing game. How much glue is there? It's a very tiny amount, so I just like to keep shaving until I get to that happy place where they pull apart like that. And you can do it with bigger chunks depending on your paper cutter. Like, so see this one here, this is still a pretty big chunk, but as long as it, nope, it won't fit in there. So I'm gonna have to find a place to break this one apart, or I can grab a couple over here for an example. Okay, so I'll grab this stack here. This is a few pages, just make sure they're really lined up. Watch your fingers, as always, slide them in. Like I said, I like to start with as little as possible, and then just slice it off. And see, all loose. And that is how we break apart a book. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rest of these up, and then I will show you what it looks like at the end. I lied, I wanted to show you something. So your cover page is always gonna have the most glue on it. This one I most definitely recommend not reheating and just going straight to the cutter, although you may have to, it's like so sticky when you do this. And you can see a very faint line. It's like a fold line, but that just pulls the glue off, and so it's not there at all to bother you. And see, I have a little left, so all I'm gonna do is put it back in here. Just make sure you have it all aligned. And I have a very tiny amount to just take off. And there we go. As long as they're free flowing. Okay, now I'm gonna pull the rest of the book apart. All right, and now I have a book that has been totally pulled apart. So I like to reinforce the spine with some washi tape, and then sometimes if you're just not in the mood to wait for the glue to dry back up, just put washi tape over it. But as you can see, every page in here is perfectly loose. I can flip through my entire Tattoo Darlings book, and so I could go here and pick out my gal, you know, whichever one I want, and then just go find her. And I can either just pull out this single, stick it on a clipboard, or I can scan this, but now it's perfectly flat and I can scan it. And I just find it so much easier to work in these Create Space books when they're completely pulled apart like this. It's just, I don't know, I find it easier. Now, would I rebind it into like a spiral binding? No, because the whole point is I want them loose so I can run it through, because some of us have scanners that you have to run through, or you need to put it flat on the glass surface. I scan with my phone, so I have to have it flat on a surface and my phone scans it. So I just leave it this way, close her up, and like I said, you can rubber band it, you can put a little clip here, or in my case, I'm usually lazy and I just leave it like this. They don't fall out. So that is how I break apart a book. So let's recap. You first use the Sizzix heat tool, or any heat tool, to heat up the glue to get the cover off. Then you heat up all the pages to start breaking them apart in chunks. Then at the end, you just go cut off those gluey ends using a paper cutter. If you don't have a paper cutter, then you would just continue to heat with the heat gun and pull each page apart. I've done them both ways. I can break apart a book in 5 minutes or less. But again, only do this with your cheap Create Space paper books. Please don't do this with, like, say, a hard book, Hannah Carlson. But I just find this makes it super easy to work with these books, and I like it. And then they're all loose and ready to use. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching my full real-time tutorial. I hope it wasn't too annoying that I did it in real time, but I kind of wanted to show you all the little quirks and processes that come up when dealing with the spine glue. All right, thank you all. Take care. Bye now.